Hi, everyone. I'm Nina.
Jesse.
So we have a female pastor who is really into the queers, and we're here to just listen to a little bit of her sermon.
Oh, joy.
Word became flesh and lived among us, and my body, your body, their bodies are home for the living God. That is why I take my 11-year-old boy to drag shows in the summer with my friend and fellow church leader Kate and her 11-year-old boy. I want him to know that there is no wrong way to have a body, especially if you're a man, that bodies can be celebrated and played with. I want him to know that all bodies can shapeshift and be adorned with makeup and glitter.
What you talking about?
I don't like anyone telling any child that their bodies can be played with.
Played with?
You can use your bodies to play, but not play with your... That's a weird phrasing.
It's very...
I don't like that phrasing.
No.
If you want to tell a kid that their body is athletic and they can do so many sports and they can jump really high and they can play, that's different.
Yeah.
And that's a different conversation than saying your body's something you can play with. That's getting into like sexual stuff with kids. And you should know that the church has a history of that, honey. Maybe stop it.
Maybe stop it. But also telling a child that they could surgically mutilate their body.
What's with this, especially boys being okay with their bodies? Last time I checked, boys have never really had the most uncomfortable feelings with their bodies. Maybe like when puberty comes up. But usually girls have more problems with their bodies growing up as kids.
She's a man-hating pastor.
Or is she trans?
I don't think she's trans. I think she's a lunatic.
It's crazy, that's for sure.
So she's a man-hating pastor. So she's literally going to target little boys to make them how she wants them to be.
There's no wrong way to have a body. So you're saying that God made you wrong, which seems like it's against everything else you guys preach about.
It seems like she's trying to tell little boys that God made them wrong. You know? Like, you're going to grow up to be a R-wordist if you don't listen to me because men are inherently this and that. And it sounds like she has an issue with men and she's taking it out by talking to little boys about this weird shit. Come on.
Even if it's not an issue with men, like it sounds like she's talking way too much about kids and private stuff that shouldn't be talked about till they're much older.
What does she mean by especially boys?
That's what I'm saying. Usually it's girls that have the bigger issue with their bodies and feeling comfortable around other people. Boys can. I'm not saying they don't. I'm just saying it's more often in girls. To sit there and say that, like, you have to show your little boy there's no wrong way to have a man's body. I mean, yes and no. You can't go, like, mutilating your body. I believe that's against the Bible. Maybe you should talk about that a little bit more.
So surgically manipulating your body to make it look like, what if he wants to be a Ninja Turtle? Well, bodies can be played with.
We can stitch a shell to your back and then...
Yeah. All this other fun stuff, because we're here to affirm.
Especially want him to know this if he turns out to be a heterosexual, able-bodied, and cisgendered man. I want to raise a boy who knows that he doesn't get to tell other people how to live in a body.
She does not
But she's telling them.
She doesn't want a little boy to grow up to be a heterosexual man. She wants this little boy to grow up to be either a trans girl or a homosexual.
Yeah.
So she's literally an indoctrinator.
She's trying to, and that's the thing is, people like this strongly believe that if they are not gay or trans, that they are the problem. They think their kids will be the problem.
This is like
if you raise your
this
kids
is the opposite of what was happening before. If you were gay, you were the problem. Yeah. Now it's if you're straight, you're the problem.
If you raised your kids right, guess what? They'll respect everyone from every walk of life, and they won't have any issues. And it shouldn't matter where they lay their head at night, who they lay their head next to. It should matter if they love them, if it's two consenting adults.
You can't make good on the injustices of the past by creating new injustices of the present or future. That's what they're trying to do here.
You ever think that maybe if you force all these kids to be gay and trans, that maybe one day they'll decide it's illegal to be either of these things because you decided to push it down their throats?
Yeah.
Think about that. And so then the people who are actually gay and trans actually suffer immensely from it because now those kids who you pushed on are taking your rights away because they never had a chance to choose it. You ever think about that? No, you're only thinking about how good it looks for a pastor to have a trans kid.
Gay kids who grew up in religious families, who had to come out to their families or didn't want to come out to their families, they were ostracized, kicked out of their house, or had to go to some like re-education camp, which was conversion therapy.
Sometimes a lot of all of it. I went to Jesus camp and I was kicked out of my house and I was very terrified to come out to my parents and they were very religious.
But now it's the exact opposite. They're doing the same thing, but now it's
For the straight parts, yeah, you get kicked out for being straight, essentially.
yeah. That is such the dumbest way to go.
Which
about
is why you had the JoJo Siwa thing happen. Mm-hmm. Which is why you had the Fletcher thing happen. Which is why these people are scared to come out as straight. It's not that they're scared.
That's insane to hear.
It's not that they're scared to be straight. They know they're allowed to be straight. It's not that.
But they won't be praised.
It's the backlash. It's the lack of acknowledgement. It's the lack of care people have for them afterwards. This pastor is getting tons of attention for talking about this. I guarantee it. And that's the reason that they bring the kids to the drag shows, is because they want the community to see that, oh, they're so accepting. See how great I am? Now come to my church and give me money.
God doesn't love her.
God does not believe that God made any child wrong. No man, no woman. And, like, I'm sorry to say it, but some things are just given to you in life, and you have to accept and embrace them. You don't get to choose your family. You don't get to choose your genitals.
I'm not a religious person by any means, but since she's in a church and claiming to be a woman of God, I'd like to say that she was sent by the devil, not by God. I'll tell you that right now.
I don't think anyone who
If there
watches
is
our channel
one.
thinks you're religious. The amount of times you've said F Christians is ridiculous.
I didn't say Christians.
You let me know in the comments how many times Nina's
No.
bashed Christians.
No, bad ones. There are bad parties in every group. I was talking about the bad ones.
Fair. Still, you don't like the Christians.
I don't like the bad Christians. I don't like bad people.
I agree.
Palestinian queer flag. That's what it is. It's the Looney Tunes flag.
That flag, it's the tackiest thing I've ever seen.
Glitter, all bodies. I want him to know that there is no wrong way to live in his body as long as his body is not hurting other bodies. Amen?
Amen.
I especially want him to know this if he turns out to be a heterosexual, able-bodied, and cisgendered man. I want to raise a boy who knows that he doesn't get to tell other people how to live in a body.
Only
11.
boys?
He's 11. How are you talking about any of his cis, straight qualities when he's 11? He has, as far as I know, 11-year-olds aren't even kissing each other, let alone dating each other.
Is this little boy her friend's kid?
No, this is her son.
This is her. Oh, God,
Her-
he's.
Her and her friend both take their same age sons to drag shows.
Oh,
To show off the fact that their church is so accepting. Come gays, come buy our magic potion also.
Her son's
I'm not saying
screwed.
Christianity is like that. I'm saying their version of Christianity is like that. Their version is, we will be accepted no matter what. You can hate, you can judge, you can sin, you can change your body. It's not a temple. And actually, it is a temple that you can change and alter and shove glitter up the ass crack of.
Some man did her wrong once, and she's taking it out on her child, her son. What if she had a daughter? Is she going to favor the daughter over the son because she hates men? Because it sounds like she does not like men, and she doesn't like that her son is a boy. She wants him to be trans or queer or anything other than a cis heterosexual male. That would be like shameful to her. She would feel ashamed of him growing up to be just a straight guy. So she's actually proving to anyone who is watching this video that she is a very abusive mother and she should have her child taken away. This is my opinion.
It's not just about the child, though. You have to realize, like, even, I agree, people fuck with their kids, but people fuck with their kids all the time. The bigger idea is that she's parading this around as a religion, which affects other people's kids, too. She's not only affecting her child, she's telling other people to take their 11-year-old sons to drag shows because, God forbid, they come out to be straight men. She's teaching a whole bunch of people that this is the way that Christians should work.
And when you say that people with their kids all the time, I just like to say that that's not a good thing.
No, I'm not saying that it's a good thing, but I'm talking about, like, it's usually one person affecting their own children, And this is beyond that. You're not just affecting your own child who you brought into this world. You're affecting your child, and you're affecting everyone in that building, their children.
All their kids.
And what they do with their kids. And you're telling them this is the godly way to live. And people don't do their own research and think they listen. That's been the biggest problem with the church, is people just listen blindly and follow whatever they say. I have a bigger issue. Parents choose what they want to do. If you want to bring your kid to a drag show independently, that's what you decided on your own, I'm not really allowed to step in there because you're a fucking adult, right? Mm-hmm. You're telling a whole community to do it. You have to do it. God forbid they're cis. God forbid they don't get exposed to bodies being f***ed with.
God forbid they're males.
Right.
She's got an issue with the male species, and every single freaking heterosexual male in that room, regardless of age, she's shaming outwardly to the congregation.
Yes, to the community that she's supposed. What? Hate has no home here, but you hate men. You hate the fact that your kid might be cis. You hate the fact he might be straight. He's 11. You don't even know that. You think I knew at 11? I really didn't. I still thought I was going to marry a man. Because at 11, you still believe the dreams that you've been pushed down. The dreams that everyone else tells you should have. You might have a little bit of a personality, a little bit of an opinion. But up until, at 11, you're doing what you're told.
So he's going to think he's trans.
He
her
could.
son.
He could, unless he's a really amazing 11-year-old who's like, nah, Mom, that's not for me.
Well, like you said, you were raised in a religious family, and you had the dream alive that you were straight. So he might have the dream alive that he's trans or queer or something.
Yeah.
When
or at
that
least
was
he
embedded in his brain. It wasn't something he thought of.
Right.
He was manipulated by his mother. And
Into believing
probably
this, yeah.
all the other mothers that are in that room think the exact same way.
And even if they don't, they follow the same thinking because it is the thinking they are told they must think to be in the group. You cannot go to that woman and tell her that you have a different opinion and continue to go to that church.
This is the same thing as when they were preaching that gays were bad to their congregation and no one knew who was gay in there. Everyone thought they were straight, but we all know it's like 1 out of 10 are gay.
Yeah, and it's the same idea with
Same
a different sexuality.
You're trying to wrong the sins of the past by
enforcing sins in the present.
Yeah, this is not doing anyone any good. This is actually evil. And she's still going,
and
apparently.
Like I know, like you said, no, it's not good when any parent with their kid. Yeah, I agree. However, usually it's isolated down to like a parent and their children.
Not a whole church.
Not someone who's essentially giving these people an outline for life. Because that's what religion does for everyone. It gives them an outline for life. It gives them stories and morals and stuff like that. You are now assigning your morals to these people and not necessarily the morals that are in the Bible.
And speechless. I'm speechless. Yeah, that's the end of that clip. Holy crap.
Welcome to today's Christianity.
Freaking, oh my God, you don't love gays and then hate straights because back then they loved straights and hated gays. You don't do that. That's not very godly. I don't like that woman. She should be investigated. Something's up with that.
There's definitely something to be said about preaching morals that are against everything that book says. It's not the way that Christians usually think about things. I'm not saying every Christian is a conservative, but it's wrong for you to tell someone that a boy being cisgender is the end of the world. And he's 11. He's 11. Guess what? You can't be trans without at once being cis. Just saying.
But they also say they're born that way. So which is it?
You can't be trans without being cis first. Just how would you be trans?
Well, the trans and the trans allies are the ones saying that they were born that way.
They weren't, because they were born. Why do you have the word cis if you were born that way? Why do you have the word dead name if you were born that way?
Or trans.
Or trans if you were born that way. You weren't born. You were born with mental issues. Sorry, we all were. And you decided to hang on to these specific ones.
Or were they not born with those issues, but
raised with them?
Maybe.
It's possible.
Life experience, things that happened to them. Probably.
Either way, you shouldn't be telling people that this is a shameful thing to not have.
Well, anyway, let us know what you think in the comments below. Join our memberships. Like and subscribe. A lot of you don't subscribe, even though many of you watch. We're trying to get to 30K subscribers. This will help very much if you subscribe. Thank you for watching.
We'll see you in the next video!
Thank you.
Crawling hard